Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Godzilla 2 King of Monsters. Now this was directed by Michael Dougherty, stars Vera Farmiga, Kyle Chandler, Ken Watanabe and Millie Bobby Brown. And really this film takes place 5 years after the events of the last film. At the beginning of the film, we do see what transpired in San Francisco from the point of view of another family who loses a child. And it's really about, we get to see who they are as people and what they're trying to do. And we get to see the whole story from a different point of view, which I really liked. The focus this time is on the cryptozoologist agency, Monarch, facing off against a battery of god-sized monsters, including the mighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and the ultimate nemesis, the three-headed King Ghidorah, leaving humanity's very existence hanging in the balance. What I liked about this film is it takes a story that we've known, and I like that it skipped forward a few years, and I like that we sort of focus on a different family or a different group of people in this one, and taking place from the previous film. I really like that aspect to it. I liked being thrown into the world. I liked that the world was expanded. We got to learn much more about the Monarch group and who they are and what they do, and the variety of stations and secret laboratories they have around the world. How more of these creatures appear. In the first film we only had Godzilla and two other creatures. In this one we have Godzilla and many other creatures. Historically known creatures from the Godzilla universe. And Mothra makes an appearance, and she is really great in this, and I love this. I really like the design of the creature and what that creature had to offer to this particular film. Follow Vera Farmiga's character, who's ultimately a scientist, and her young daughter, Billy Bobby Brown, and ultimately they are kidnapped by this particular group that is eco-terrorists. Really want the world to go back to the way it was, and they feel by eradicating humanity and bringing back these creatures, that's the best way to achieve this goal. So really, this film becomes a race against time, about trying to stop these creatures by trying to find Godzilla again and bring him back to help defend Earth again once more. I really see Godzilla as sort of a superhero in a way in these sort of films. He reminds me of Superman in certain aspects. Now go with me here. He's another worldly creature in a way who lives on Earth, who's been hidden away for a long time and is awoken and has sort of certain abilities, and he ultimately wants to defend his planet, where he's from, against other forces and other creatures, much like Superman wants to defend it against other aliens or General Zod and his army. And this sort of has those elements to it. And when he fights the big three-headed dragon type character, that's sort of like Zod, who wants everyone to bow down to him. And I feel there's a connection there with that sort of character. Maybe I'm just stretching here, but that's sort of what I felt about it. Godzilla in this is fantastic. He's a real standout and such a powerful character and creature, and I love the design of him. I love what they do with him. I love that he sort of goes radioactive in this, and I think it's absolutely brilliant to watch, and he's the strong draw card to this film for me. He's just a great character. He's one of my heroes, I think, in many ways, and I love that. And I love that he's on Earth protecting humanity against other creatures and defending his territory. I think that's really great. The Monarch group is kind of interesting. We get to see much more of them. I think they're kind of a fascinating sort of secret group away from the military and doing their own tests, and they know what's going on a lot more than they are able to reveal to people. I think all the human characters are really great. Kyle Chandler's an actor who I've liked quite some time. He's very solid. He's very believable in the performances that he gives and the characters he does play. And this is a great example of that. I think Vera Farmiga is really good with what she has, and she just plays a solid and interesting character. Billy Bobby Brown, I think, does well with what she has, but I think she's a little wasted in this film. I think the film should have been more from her point of view, to tell you the truth. I think she's a solid actress and an up-and-comer that deserves a bit more than what she got in this sort of film, in my opinion. She does serve a purpose in the film, but it's not as big as I expected it to be. And there's an array of other very talented actors within this film. But I think Ken Watanabe, to me, steals the show. He's a very interesting character. I loved his character from the first film. I'm a big fan of him as an actor. And I really love what he does here. I think it's fantastic. There's some really great elements and set pieces to this film. It's fun and entertaining. And there's the one scene that I really like is we get to see where Godzilla has been living or was living before he was woken up, and where he returns to. And this sequence is absolutely fantastic. And Ken Watanabe has a really brilliant scene within this. His character has a lot of depth, and there's a lot of interesting aspects to the character that I really liked, and I loved from the first one, and they expanded that, and I really liked that. I love they expanded the universe in this and told us a lot more than we knew before. And you can really tell they're trying to tie this into Kong Skull Island, because they add humor to this, which some of it works, some of it doesn't. Now, there are things about it I didn't love. There are things that I struggled with, but they're very minimal. So the things I did struggle with were some of the human characters. Their motivations didn't kind of make sense. You didn't really understand what they were trying to do. I didn't think a lot of the human characters were that interesting or you could connect to. The main ones, yes, and Ken Watanabe's character, absolutely. I just felt that there were other characters I didn't connect or enjoy as much as I felt I could, and they didn't get enough screen time or moments that they sort of deserved. And I guess that's because the main focus is on these creatures, which are all fantastically designed, all unique and different, and entertaining to watch, and all have different abilities. Mothra's really fantastic. It's the first time I've really got to see that particular character, on the screen, because I haven't really seen a lot of the Godzillas. But I felt that particular creature was wasted in the film as well, and could have had a lot more screen time, and deserves a lot more screen time than it actually had. The one thing I really, really disliked, on the verge of hating, how they brought in these comedians to have these stupid comedy moments that didn't serve the story and just aggravated. The biggest one that I really was on the verge of hating was Tom Middleton. His character, I just don't care. It's a stupid character that just comes in for comic relief. And it's an annoying character. It reminds me of the character that I had in Independence Day Resurgence. They just don't serve any purpose. They're just there to try and tell jokes and be funny. And Tom Middleton is freaking awful in this, and I hated his character so much and found it so freaking pointless. It just felt like they were trying to tie it all together with Kong Skull Island, which had a bit of humor, and they tried to have the same humor in this, as if saying, oh, well, look, we're the same universe, we're going to connect. And I hated this. Every time he was on screen, he bugged me. Every time he opened his mouth and had something stupid or trying to be funny come out of his mouth, I was so frustrated. And this really took me out of the film. It's one part of it I really disliked. Bradley Whitford's in this. Now, he's a unique actor and did a really great job in Get Out, and he's from stuff like West Wing and shows like that. And he has a unique brand of comedy and humor that's unique to him. And he's also in this film, and he provides a bit of the humor as well. It works a lot better for me than Thomas Middleton, but I just didn't feel it was needed. It just felt like they were trying too hard to be funny. Some of his stuff hit, but most of it didn't, and I just don't understand why they're trying to make this more comical. The first one didn't have any of that. It was a straight drama with creatures in it, and I thought that was fantastic. And there is humor in this away from those two characters that come out of the situation, the circumstances particular characters find themselves in. And I think that works a lot better. But like I said, I really loved this. I thought it was fantastic. I'm even considering going to see it again. I enjoyed it so much. Final verdict. If you're a fan of Godzilla, you'll love this film. If you just want to see more creatures that the first film didn't have, this is definitely the film for you. They're all unique and different. And I really loved that. And if you want to see Godzilla just kicking ass, this is definitely the film for you. I loved every moment of it, and I just thought it was brilliant and well done, and I was thoroughly impressed with what I did see with this film. I'm going to give Godzilla, King of Monsters, 4.5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was a great and entertaining experience, except for the small amount of things I disliked. I enjoyed every other aspect to it. And I just thought it was such a fascinating and interesting film, and it drew me in, and Godzilla was brilliant, as well as Ken Watanabe. This film is going on my top 10. I thought it was brilliant. It's number 4 on my list. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.